Welcome, Film Fights with Friends fans. We have an extremely awesome episode. I am Paul Veracci, and I am here with
Stephen Kepfer. How you doing, folks? So glad you could make it here today.
Total stutters. I am nerding out on this episode for our next guest.
Yeah, this episode, right? We have Clay Enos. He's a set photographer for Zack Snyder since Watchmen.
Yes.
Watchmen. And honestly, right, going into this episode, I wasn't sure. It's so out of the box for us.
I didn't even know what the fuck to ask this guy.
I wasn't sure where it was going to go, and it was great.
What's so funny is I didn't realize what went into his job until we started talking to him.
Yeah.
I had questions for him, but I didn't ask a lot of them because as he's just started talking, Yeah.
It's like, we all know, there's a set photographer. He takes pictures of what's going on and.
And for those of you who don't know, when you work on a set, even when I was working in Marvel in my first job, there was always this one person who was walking around. Everybody knew that they were okay with just having them put a camera right near you, take a picture, and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone on the set acted like they were not there.
Right. Yeah. It's such an insightful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get nerdy into the photography stuff, but it's really conceptual, like what's on his mind, what he's trying to do and not do as a department of one.
What's really, really amazing and what really came across my mind is what he's trying not to do.
Yeah.
That, for me, for anyone who's interested in set photography, who this episode was like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. Listen to what not to do.
Yeah.
What to do seems instinctual for a photographer, but what not to do seems to be the most important things.
He did sort of point out some differences from the standard photographer mindset, which we won't spoil.
Yes.
Which some things that he talked about that could be difficult for sort of your typical fashion photographer or what, someone who works in other areas of the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's a great episode. Thank you to my student, Brian Cabanban, who made the introduction, who knows Clay. And so that was just phenomenal. Yeah. And we may get the answer.
Oh.
We may get the answer to whether or not Zack Snyder actually intentionally did an homage to the American Werewolf in London scene. We may actually get an answer to that.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Put it this way. This is what's really going to happen, folks. Steve's going to get an answer, and I'm going to continue not giving a fuck.
Dude, we will link this homage in the show notes. And then you guys out there can not give a fuck too. But I would like a definitive answer.
I agree. No, I agree. I have so many movies that I love that I want definitive answers if they were shout outs to it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. This is what I would call a little pecker. And it won't stop pecking.
You mean a little pecker like South Park Trump pecker?
Yes.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what else, Paul? Do you know? All right, so this is episode 13 of season 2.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me do my two coats math. That makes it episode 40.
Yes, this is episode
two coats
40, our 40th episode. Congrats, dude. We made it 40 episodes. It's kind of a milestone.
I mean, 40 episodes. When I hear people talking about podcasts and their 100th episode,
or that most podcasts quit after 10,
and nonchalantly, and I think of 40, I'm ready for it, dude. I think we've got more episodes. This is it. I'm loving this.
Yeah, and this episode airs on October 24th, so Halloween's coming up. Hope everybody has a good Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
And hopefully by then,
and it'll be Comic-Con time,
and we'll know if we're actually in the running for the podcast awards.
Yes.
If we could go to the future, we would know, but we don't know.
If you guys actually listened, took the time, went,
if you guys voted for us, yeah. Because right now, in real time, when we're recording this, we have less than a week
left.
Yes.
Wednesday is the end. Yes.
Yeah, the nomination round. Yeah.
Technically, it's Saturday.
Something like
that.
Not
technically, it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Today is Saturday. Yes. You could figure out that we did 40 episodes, but Saturday. Right? But anyway, man, what are we going to...
Honestly, I think we're rambling because we're not really sure what to say when we ask, what have you been getting into? It's been pretty still in LA and New York lately, man.
Yeah. Yes, it has been. And we've mentioned in the past on the show that we pitched something. We pitched a project and we got chosen.
Yes.
For that project to work with a creative agency to help with a promotional activation for a big IP and a big studio. And we did get chosen for that. So that was pretty cool.
We did. And it's pretty interesting in the God, I don't even know what the wording is, but the back and forth that we're going and what we're starting to realize as the
process unfolds, right?
So basically, what's happening is we're dealing with someone who is the middle for a big company.
Yeah. So the listener should know we're dealing with basically the creative director.
Yeah.
Right. For an agency.
Yes.
Who is hired by a big studio. And so then we're being hired by the creative director to do this thing for the studio. So there's a lot of back and forth between us and the creative director. Then the agency goes to the studio, gets approval on XYZ, comes back to them, and then comes back to us. So there's a lot of sort of this back and forth communication.
And also waiting.
Yeah, and waiting, of course.
And just kind of, there's this weird aspect of just not understanding, being why don't they just fucking do this?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're not in the room. And so what was frustrating recently is after weeks of working on stuff and building a nice relationship with the agency, they've been great. The people at the agency have been wonderful. The studio came back with the decision, or at least the thought, I guess. I don't know if it was a final decision. Mm-hmm. We want to do this in LA, not in New York.
Yes.
And after we had spent weeks setting it up and going through all these hoops, that we have to do.
And in my head, the first thing I said is, how the fuck do you not realize that was even an option to tell us? Period.
Well, from what I understand, right, the original thing was they were going to do one in LA, they were going to do one in New York. Now they just want to do, for whatever reason, they were just wanting to do one in LA. So the folks at the agency, to their credit, wanted to figure out a way to bring us out to LA and do it in LA. So then it meant more kind of jumping through hoops and trying to figure out. I mean, for those of you out there trying to do this kind of stuff and working in this industry, we're not used to pitching ad agencies and stuff. That's not typically what we do.
Yeah.
Or even working with them.
But then when we do, you throw out this pitch, we take our time, we try and be as professional as possible, answer their questions in a timely and in a timely fashion. Hand them everything that they need. Been look, there is no reason you would have to think about anyone else. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the way they respond to us and they get back to us is of where we're just kind of what the fuck?
You mean the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the agency has been totally professional.
The agency's been great. But then when it comes to they're okay, great. And then all of a sudden, 3 months, 2 months, whatever, a lot of time of silence.
Oh, you mean from the initial pitch?
From the initial pitch.
It was about 2 months.
Right?
So.
We hear nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then all of a sudden, they get back to you it was 2 days later.
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no. I mean,
they said we apologize for the long time.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the way. So I'm cutting out the middleman and I'm talking about production.
But we don't know what happened with.
I feel like that the production is kind of responding to them like they're responding immediately.
Yeah, but I mean, from our end, we have no idea of knowing why it took 2 months, what was happening, who. We don't know anything. We just know that
doesn't change the irritants on our aspect, and it's like, dude, we sent this 3 weeks ago. You're answering us like,
yeah.
We sent it yesterday.
I wasn't irritated. I was shocked. I thought we lost the gig.
So did I.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we got the gig.
Like we're best friends.
But I know, right? But then, so now we're going. So basically, we had a very frank conversation with the agency, with the creative director, and we're like, "Hey, listen, we just have to be honest," because basically they were like, "Hey, the issue is they want to do it in LA, and it comes down to money, right? It's like if we can bring you guys out to LA and make it cheaper than it would be for them to send people to New York, we can bring you out."
Well, but one of the things that we also realized is that while we were doing this, is that they were asking us a lot of questions, and a lot of the questions that we had to answer were putting us in a position to engage and involve other people,
colleagues,
yeah, people who
colleagues in LA.
When we say things, they expect things to happen. They expect follow up. You can't just kind of throw bullshit to the wind.
No,
when it comes to things like this.
So, yeah.
So we had to come to a point of being like, listen, we're not going to do that. We are not going to throw bullshit to the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell us exactly what it is you want and exactly what you need from us, because we are not going to use our connections to look like assholes for you to come back and tell us that you're going differently.
Yeah.
So if you want us to move forwards, tell us exactly what you want. And
we basically had the frank conversation with the creative director, like, is this worth it? Because we're engaging colleagues.
There's more money. There were all these
coming up with additional budgets, right? All this kind of stuff and all these contingency plans. And if we were going to do this in LA, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And then so after, and to their credit, to the creative director's credit, they were like, with us,
super on point with us,
and I got the sense that they also were being dicked around by the studio. So who knows?
So maybe I jumped the gun in my description and what was happening.
No, I just want to clarify when we're talking about the creative folks or the studio itself, who has to approve everything, right? So anyway, we had this conversation, and they brought it back to the studio. We gave them an estimated budget, what it would cost. Rental of a place and flying us out there, putting us up for a couple nights. And now they're back to, let's do it in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But we still don't know if it's going to happen at all. No. So that's where it starts getting frustrated. Like, I wasn't frustrated when we didn't hear anything for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start putting work, this is the thing about this industry, no matter what part of it you're in, it's a lot of fucking working for free, right?
Especially the time leading up to the day of work is a lot of fucking free work and a lot of fucking free time.
Yeah. And so you want to do free work for something that you really, has a good chance of happening.
Yes.
And so all the planning and working and the drafting of stuff and, for those out there, it's like if you're running an event or you're running a thing, it's like you can't just say, hey, we're going to do it. You're working with people. You need to have your safety plans and emergency action plans.
Right. If I'm going to put on
liability insurance, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I want to put on a convention, I want to bring in a bunch of vendors.
Yeah.
Everybody that has a table and a space there. Everything needs to be dictated.
It literally, and none of that has anything to do with the actual stunt training that we're going to do. It's just like, hey,
it's the design of the day.
It's the facilities. It's all the other stuff. Right? So there's a lot of work that goes into place. And so I don't know. Right now, it's leaning back towards New York. So let's hope. We don't know what was going on the other end. It could just be the keep it in LA movement that's going on. There's a lot of things that it could be about, but in the end, I think it was still what won out was dollars.
Probably. Yeah. I was going to say cost here, cost there. And then when we're like, listen, if you're using us and we're going there, you're not doing anything cost.
It was more cost effective for them.
Right.
To fly one person from LA out here than to fly 2 New Yorkers to LA plus pay rent on top of the rate that we had already negotiated.
Right.
Plus pay for our rental car, plus, like all the stuff that would cost to bring us out there to do the same thing we could do right here.
But the great thing is that when it comes to this business, and we're going to, we'll move on. It's just an introduction. We ramble. But loyalty is huge in this business. And for
relationships and loyalty.
And relationships and loyalty are very big. And without anything, we haven't done a fucking thing. And they have, I feel that this company has gone out of their way to show that they're willing to stay loyal to us.
100%.
And that is
like
fucking insane to me, to the point of where it gives me goosebumps that these are like, this is good people. This is good company.
No, we asked them
because they could have moved on.
Yes. We asked them in the meeting, as you know,
why
are you even still talking to us? Because if we were in the shoes of the studio and they wanted to switch from New York to LA, let's just cut those New York guys loose. We didn't sign anything yet.
They're coming to
let's just choose somebody in LA.
Yeah.
And the creative director said, because we like you.
Yeah.
So that alone was really nice.
Huge.
That's
huge. Great. It's good to hear things like that. And then, when it goes to the two interviews that we had, how important relationships are in this business.
Yes.
You can do amazing work.
Yep.
You can do an amazing work. You can be great at whatever it is you do. If you don't understand how to keep a relationship, you will not work.
Yes. 100%. And having said that, we want to keep our relationship with you listeners. So we're going to move on from this bullshit and tell you about the people that make it possible for you to listen to this. 15 minutes of us ranting about LA, New York politics.
Stunt Contact.
We are so glad to have Stunt Contact back as a sponsor of the show. I mean, listen, we've talked about it before. We would use Stunt Contact anyway.
I use them all the time. I'm ADHD. My brain goes fucking all over the place. I need a one-stop shop.
Yep. It's a great industry breakdown specifically for stunts. So, it's going to be about, it's targeted towards action stuff in stunt performance. So it's just so good. You guys got to check it out. The link will be in the show notes. If you need a reliable breakdown service that coalesces everything for you, all the trades articles, all the crew, the important, the producers, line producers, casting directors, UPMs, everybody's in there. Basic shoot schedules, when they're intending to start, when they're intending to wrap, stuff that's in pre-production, stuff that's just in development. I mean, I don't know if it's going to lead to anything, but there's a film going to be shooting out here in New Jersey that's based very much in Cold War era Soviet Russian defector stuff.
Oh.
And it's in pre-production, not even pre-production, maybe in just development. And I wrote to the line producer, hey, I have a ton of experience in the Russian fighting styles and all the Russian stuff. And I sent my reel and some links to interviews and things like that. And she usually, you know how it is. You write to these people and it's radio silence. Within 30 minutes, she wrote back and she was like, I'm sending this to my team. So who knows? Could be nothing, could be something, but it's because of Stunt Contact. So thank you, Stunt Contact. We appreciate you in our jobs. We appreciate your support of the show. If you're listening and you need a breakdown service, please check them out. They're awesome.
Or if you're just looking for a place to train an actor or looking for a place to train and coordinate and just design a fight scene and you need a space,
then call us. Don't call Stunt Contact.
That's right. Call Breakfall Studios.
Yeah, that's it. Shoot us. You can hit us up at the Film Fights with Friends, socials. You can hit us up at the Breakfall Studios contacts, or just me or Paul individually. That would be Krav Maga Chef on Instagram, and I'm Sambo Steve on Instagram. Yeah. Speaking of which, you should follow us on Instagram.
Wow, that's right. You should follow us individually.
Individually and the show.
I want more followers so I can be better than
Breakfall
Steve,
Studios is at Breakfall Stunts. Film Fights Friends Pod is the podcast Instagram, and also TikTok if you're on there. And just like us everywhere. And if you feel like supporting us with a little more than just a follow and a like and a comment,
throw us a couple of bucks on Patreon.
Check out our Patreon. You can get access to these episodes early. You can get lots of swag and giveaways and access to all this cool stuff.
And the Patreon members, you get access into my Super Nerd Brain giveaway. So the Patreon members, I do come up with some cool stuff to give to you guys.
You do. As you guys know, hopefully Paul is a big time collector, and as you'll see in this episode, he talks a lot about it, and he'll come up with some pretty I
like to take a lot of my things in my collection and put them out for you guys
to he gives them out. He gives them to the Patreon folks, so please. And if you don't, we have lots of tiers.
Oh god, one was sake, not beer. That was a big sip.
Down in that sake. You've been going with the booze for all the episodes we recorded today.
It's the bloating, man. I feel like such a when I drink the beer.
Yeah. Well, anyway, follow us on Patreon, and we will really, really appreciate you. It's you guys that we have to figure out a way to get the free Patreon members. If you're listening, consider jumping up into a paid Patreon member.
Steve will send you a dick pic.
I will send you a picture from the South Park Donald Trump dick pic episode. That's what I'll send you. And I will AI Paul's face on it. Hey, Midjourney. Here's a prompt for you. Give me the South Park Trump dick pic with a Ron Jeremy looking Paul Veracci face on there.
Yeah, fuck you. Call me Ron Jeremy.
And with that, I think that's a good space to end and bring in Clay. What do you think?
Oh, shit.
All right, man. You guys are going to do this episode. It's awesome. Let's jump in with Clay.
And here we are.
Yeah, man.
Another episode of Film Bites with Friends.
With our new good buddy, Clay. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing really well, gentlemen.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Clay's in Mexico right now, Paul.
We're wow, that's all. How's the weather?
Perfect. It's actually rainy season, but it's been perfect all morning.
Nice. Oh, nice.
And Clay is our first set photographer. Is that
indeed
proper?
Indeed. Yeah. It's we were talking before. We always talk so much on the show about the culture on a set, but I feel like maybe you're the most appropriate person to talk to about that, because you're on so many sets and you observe. You're sort of like those outside eyes that's observing set culture and how it flows or doesn't flow or however it goes on a particular set, right?
And a set photographer, I mean, you guys, the lens is in everybody's face. It's not like you're just shooting what's on set. You go, what's behind set? I've had set photographers take photos of me just working COVID crap. Like,
yeah,
you are really the eye of, you're kind of like the eye of Sauron almost.
I mean, are we right? Is it a fair assumption that you're sort of in that role,
Yeah, you wear kind of two hats. You're the storyteller in the sense that you're trying to mimic the images that the film camera is getting as best you can while you're still off axis. But then you're also a kind of, not a yearbook photographer, but you're the eyes and ears for the, not so much ears, but of the fans, of the people who want to look back at this project years from now.
Right.
There's always the classic, the director pointing or framing, all those pictures you've ever seen were people like me making them.
So that's interesting, though, where you say I always thought of you more as like that, like the documentarian, but less trying to mimic what is being shot
in a frame.
Yeah, you're never going to get. In fact, I joke that never look at the monitor, right? Because the perfect frame is going into the
right
is the movie. So if you are just off just by a few feet, very different things end up behind you, So or behind the actors. It is that a little bit, because if you think about it, a picture of Superman, wielding her swords and shields, that's generally a still. In fact, it would have been me, but rather than a still from the movie, because the shutter speeds are very different and things like that.
Right.
It can happen because vis effects get added and all the rest of it, but in general, that stuff is also unit photographers.
Yeah, but it's not as an autograph hunter. Okay. So I'm a big autograph guy in conventions. So photos I'm very, very big on photos, clear photos, this, that, and whatever. And me and my other autograph alum will absolutely say that if you're not getting a set photo signed, chances are it's going to be shit. So you should really find the photos that the set photographer found and get those reprinted. Don't get a screenshot that someone took of the cool scene from the movie. Get the actual set photo.
Yeah, it's higher res. Yeah,
sharp. Absolutely, and it just looks beautiful, and it was meant to be. There are other shots that you don't take, that you don't do. You pick this one for a reason. And so I would just say that when it comes to more than the film, that there are people after the film that look for the set photos to get signed and really, really enjoy that work from that aspect as well.
Yeah, great. You can go mine my website for it.
I'm sure people do.
Autograph hunters like yourself should just go mine my website for pictures, because I try and get high res. Right click, save, go nuts.
Cool. So this is, it's a little interesting, like how to approach this interview with you, since we usually have people more directly involved in the fight. But as an observer, and someone who's shooting on set the fight, we asked you to suggest something, and you picked the warehouse fight from Batman versus Superman. Mm-hmm. So anybody who's listening to this or watching us on YouTube, pause, go to the show notes, watch the fight, and then come back so you know what we're talking about, right?
Yes, which I will also say is just an amazing, amazing fight. As someone who played all the Arkham games, this fight made me feel like I was watching a cutscene from the Arkham game.
It was like that.
It was awesome.
So, why I'm curious? We're both curious why that you've worked obviously on so many action movies. Why that fight?
Well, I think it's a really great fight. And also it's a ton of fun for me to watch because I know everybody.
There you go.
That's Wayne getting his pushed against the wall. That's Latif getting, I know all friends. That's Guillermo trying to stop the grenade.
Latif Crowder?
I don't know his last name. I just know him as Latif.
From Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
there you go. You go.
So you were on set. Were you on set documenting that shoot?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. In fact, there's a unit image that was out there in the world of Ben and Zack looking at the monitor during that fight.
Oh wow.
So that's one of those promotional images that's out there. And it was made during that week-long effort to shoot that scene, to shoot that fight.
So when you're coming into something like that as the set photographer, like you had said in the email, you're not really all that, like the script and stuff is not that important to you, or is it? Or like what's the process of that? That you have this coming up. What's your process?
Well, in the case of this warehouse fight, that's how we started the project. All of Batman v Superman, we began the filming with that fight. So there's a lot going on in those first weeks. You're trying to figure out half the people's names, on the crew. It's like a weird camp that you've just become part of. And I generally, maybe this is a secret, don't read the script. It's not important for me to know what
that makes sense.
Story is being told. I'm going to pay attention to the visuals in front of me right now. That's a little more of my documentarian blood coming forward. I don't need to know where we're going. I just need to pay attention right now. And
so do you, because obviously this is photography. So, again, the story has absolutely really nothing to do with you. So when it comes time when they're like, hey, we got the costume ready, you probably, at least in my brain, would say you get to see it and shoot it before everybody else does. And you get to light it. You get to light it and make it look awesome. Like when they had that newest photo of like fucking He-Man with, against the thing with the sword and everything. And they showed and it was just really his just silhouette. But that was probably the set photographer doing all of that before anybody else did. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those, what we call first looks, are unit photographers who get asked to be part of it. I certainly have the first look of Superman, the first look of Wonder Woman.
So fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And it can go even if you're around or depending where we are in production, how early I get there, some of the costume tests get done. So you'll see, and that's usually because in Batman v Superman's case, we were in Detroit, the studio's in Los Angeles, they want to see stuff. And the easiest way to do it, aside from shooting a little bit of film, is send them stills.
That's so cool.
It's a weird gig because you have a lot of hats. And if it's a super consumer products driven show, I mean, I shot Gal Gadot just sitting on a sawhorse because they were going to make a toy of her on a real horse.
Wow.
What about when it comes to poster images?
So poster images, I have had the good fortune to make a lot of, in large part because of my relationship with Zack and Debbie Snyder. That's often not the unit photographer. There's just a kind of, a compartmentalization at the studio level where the unit photographer doesn't shoot the poster. But I've been able to do a lot of both of them. And it's really nice because separate paychecks, sort of separate budget. And
interesting.
And it's also, those images tend to be the most sort of mundane on the day of taking them, but the ones that really resonate in people's minds because they become the posters. But that's due in large part to a ton of post-production, not done by me. So I'll shoot the Justice League team on a gray seamless background. And then of course on the day, they're in all kinds of fanciful looking.
Right. So I guess tied into that, the poster stuff is like, because we always try to fill the table with stuff related, so you can see all the Watchmen things. But I did have my I Am the Night DVD that I got from my screener, right? And I know that you were the photographer on that. And so, but I was looking because the screener versions are always so nice, and they have like all the great pictures and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if you took any of these pictures.
Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna
hold it up to the camera. This one, I bet, looks like you. It's a picture of not looks like you. Patty Jenkins.
Oh yeah, that would totally be me.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
And then
that's the kind of stuff that I do, right? That's it. Yeah,
that's so cool. We were looking at it before. I'm like, I wonder if these are his photos.
Yeah, any film I worked on where you see the director holding the finder, or as they call that thing, or the pointing with the actor, that's generally mine.
It was hard for me to figure out what to bring on, so I'm just going to go there. There are certain people that love and hate Zack Snyder. I fucking love Zack Snyder. That man has not done anything wrong.
He's a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan, so I was tough for me to figure out what to bring in. But I know that the Watchmen was one of your first, so I brought in all of my Watchmen Funkos, and I have one custom of Silk Spectre that I had Carla Cugino sign for me to join the collection.
Yeah,
but yeah, and then at home I have a couple of props from 300 and all of the Funkos signed by all the actors, and I have one of Leonidas signed by Frank Miller with small little section that one day hopefully Zach will sign for me at a premiere that I get to.
Nice.
So Watchmen was your first film with Zack Snyder.
That was my first film ever.
Oh, really?
Film ever was the fucking Watchmen?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a big film on so many levels to be a first.
It was massive. And honestly, I had visited the set of 300 just socially, kind of coming up to see, at the time, I think it was Debbie's boyfriend, Zach, making a movie. And it was a revelatory weekend where I learned there was a job called still photographer on a movie set.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the fitness aspects of how these folks were taking care of themselves. It was a life-changing weekend. And
that's so I remember 300 was, the one thing I remember is that it was when going to see a movie at midnight on Thursday was the only time you could catch a movie early. And I remember that was one of the movies I went to the midnight showing at Chelsea on 23rd Street to make sure I go see.
So you didn't have this in your radar before?
No.
I'm assuming you were a photographer before.
I was, but I was doing more just, freelance, hustling, celebrity portraits, a lot of musicians.
Right.
Anything, really. Advertising when you could get it. It was a grind. And then when I learned there was a job called still photographer, and of course 300 becomes this cultural phenomenon, and Zack has the leverage to bring somebody like me who's not in the union, not Canadian, and never shot a movie before to
I love how not Canadian.
Well, yes, that only makes sense in that we were filming in Vancouver.
Right.
He's complete. He's dedicated. He's a real committed to Canadian cruise. I don't know.
No offense to our Canadian friends.
Not at all. Look, we made Watchmen in Vancouver. We made half of Man of Steel in Vancouver. We made all of Sucker Punch in Vancouver. So
right. So he had that leverage and he brought you on, and then your life. It's a
103-day shoot, all nights and horrible weather. And I thought, oh my God, my friends didn't know where I went. 6 months later, the freelance phone isn't ringing anymore. I'm exhausted. I made a million mistakes. It was something else. And I thought, I'll never do this again. But 18 years later, I'm still doing it.
There you are. But what would be a mistake?
Watchmen came out 18 years ago?
Well, we started shooting right in 2007. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Right. Late summer of 2007 into 2008, and then the movie came out in 2009. I think.
We're all old.
Yeah. Well, no, we are of an age. We are experienced.
Oh my God! There's a reason all of us have shaved heads.
There you go. Yeah. That's not shaved, my friend. Yeah. That's not shaved.
Oh. So what would be? You said you made a ton of mistakes. What would be a mistake that would make as a new set photographer?
Back in the day, the digital cameras made noise, right? So I didn't have a blimp for my camera that would used to make it quiet. So I shot the whole thing just click throughout the whole movie. I mean, totally insane today. I mean, I had the nicest actors in the world, apparently, and obviously I had the support of the director. I didn't get enough sleep, just simple as that. So it was really exhausting.
I mean, I guess
days.
I didn't even think about it before, but I guess you're there every day. There's no day off, right? You're there documenting everything. Yeah, you're there and unlike some other jobs, and I'm not trying to sort of tout my position, but unlike other jobs, you can't sort of stop because when they're shooting, you have obligations, but then when they're not shooting, you're waiting for that shot of the director or whoever. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of always on, and that can be exhausting. And no one kind of told me the pace and commitment that filmmakers sort of give to a project. Right.
I learned. And as a result of learning, I can conserve my energy a little better for projects now. And let's say by the time we were shooting Batman v Superman, I knew the pace. So I knew that a week of this fight didn't mean I had to be ready for every second.
Right. I was going to say, when it first started, were you kind of like that? God, what's a good analogy of, the rookie reporter running around the street with everything everywhere, thinking he's got to stop and shoot and see and get, I got to get this. I got to get that. And then finally you're just like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can pick and choose a little better. I can think, let's skip to a movie without a lot of fighting. Say A Star Is Born. The point when they're crying in the bathroom, that's not for me. That's not marketing. They don't want me there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you developed a marketing brain? Like, this is a shot that would, like, as you're taking pictures, do you have these different brains working? Like, this would be a great shot. This would be a great shot for marketing, this would be a great shot for X, Y, or Z.
This would be a shot that fanboys would want to get signed.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, right. So yeah, this is the kind of thing where you could see Gall's signature right across it, right, or whoever. And then otherwise, it's like, oh, this is really going to go play well when the New York Times wants to write their little story about the making of this movie. And you're on a 100-day shoot.
Sure.
You feel like you want to get one of those every day, and that really does present the studio with options and choices. And nowadays too, it was something during Watchmen, but nowadays too, just all these niche markets, everyone wants an exclusive. And so all of a sudden, what used to be a little EPK press kit of 12 images repeated 1 million times planet-wide starts to be a lot more images in all the niche markets.
Are there some times when they come back at you, like let's say you shoot the Superman suit, right? You do a shoot and they're just like, okay, don't know if the suit is finished. Fix the lighting. Don't let everybody see so many details. More of a silhouette. Like, are there stages like that, or do they really kind of have it set and ready to go when they bring you on?
I can remember Wonder Woman's cape there were a couple different capes that they worked with, but it isn't for me. I expose to give the maximum detail. I'm not making it right at that point, and I'm really just sort of assisting the studio to know what's going to happen. I vividly remember the story of the 300 props all looking on the day to our eyes in real life as being very plasticky and stuff, but Zack having to reassure them that would get crushed down. Yeah, those blacks would all collapse and it would look awesome.
I don't know if you remember the scene, but when Leonidas was getting killed and they have the shot of the arrow with 3 prongs, I have that arrow in my room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. From that shot, like I have the arrow and a screenshot like of me holding it, like but beneath the screen. I found a friend who was a big collector, and we ended up doing a trade, and I ended up getting it. Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome.
Cool. Are they reviewing your images daily?
In general, we live in a world far more connected now, so I can upload daily, and they appreciate when I do that. My basic workflow is make pictures, go home, delete a whole bunch, make some selects, 30 or 40 selects, upload 500 or 600 pictures with the selects, and that's that. And that's the routine. I don't know when they look at them. I mean, I was just on a little Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and every week they would send out a little selection of images that they liked from my work. So that was unique. Most of the time it just goes into the void. I joke that most of my images are like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the guy's just into the...
Are they ever specific with what they want?
Oh, they all... Now I'm going to maybe get myself not in trouble, but every studio has this kind of bullet points of like a bad PowerPoint one sheet of what they need, and it's always the same. They're like head to toe, and they want things that at this point I know how to do, so I don't really need to look at it. They like empty sets, which is a weird thing. Like the set before there's actors on it, so that they can use that in, say, poster material down the line, or so some quirky things that you wouldn't necessarily think about, but otherwise it's make strong images that represent the day.
When it comes to just in general, just payment and getting paid, is it you're taking the images, they have the images, and that's the end of it? So like if they decide to
residuals or royalty,
so like if they use an image for one thing and then they take a cutout of that image and then put it on a poster for the action scene that's in the background, how does it work?
Okay, so I'm a union guy, right? So I'm just a film. Right. I'm on the film crew. There's no residuals or royalties attached to my images, even when they publish.
You're in that part of the world.
The work for hire.
Right.
The legal term, and the contract's incredible. It's throughout all media that exists and is yet to be invented.
Every universe known to man.
Planet wide, not solar system, not galaxy. The entire universe is encompassed. I feel like there's a loophole in the multiverse, but I haven't really taken it up with the lawyers.
That's so funny.
So there's that. But every once in a while, I'll make an image that's in world. right?
Yes.
So on Watchmen, I was making pictures of sort of nude women at one point so that I could put them in the back streets, you know, and have it part of the grit, because you couldn't get the rights to anything else.
Right.
So
Right.
Even
in a case like that, where
having to get shots of like Dr. Manhattan's, 6 and 9 inch
Right.
donger, just
yeah, that I drew the line.
Yeah.
I drew the line.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
So-
all done with CG, obviously. So
no, I know, I know.
You know,
So even when your image, or I guess your image in quotes, but I mean they own it. But I guess even when the image ends up in the final cut, makes no difference to you, like
Nope.
payment wise or bonuses.
no, I get paid by the hour,
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
and then it's over and done. Oh no, a poster shoots pays separately. You just invoice for like an advertising shoot or something.
Mhm.
Right.
But again, no residuals, no nothing. It pays better, you know,
Yeah.
on sort of an hourly rate.
Sure.
But that's only because it's a marketing budget versus the production budget.
How big is the photographer community, and how big is the set? I mean, do you guys all know each other, or
No,
are there?
It's actually really kind of funny in that we may know of each other, but because we are one-man bands on the set,
Right.
we don't know each other. I've shaken the hand of 2 other unit photographers in 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And-
kind of blows my mind, because
What?
we all know, because like in the stunt world or all the other departments, it feels like, people get to know each other. We worked with you on this, we worked with you on that, and but
yeah, but I'm one person, right? So
You're-
if you're a grip, there's 10 other grips. If you're a stunty, there's 20 other stunties.
Yeah.
And you're in this wonderful dojo of
right.
And they're bringing in new stunties because they were blown and their faces were seen. So it's also changing for some reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Or there's a core group that's doing the choreography and whatever. They're the doubles of the actors.
Sure.
And there's a bunch of they're coming in for the zombie apocalypse for a week.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, I never even thought of that, but in a way, it's kind of like you're the editor, right? Because the editor is always alone in a room after it's all done. And, I have a friend who's an editor. He's like, I'll go to like the rap parties and stuff and nobody will know who I am. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the editor. Oh, okay, cool. But to not have met, I mean, to have only shaken the hand of 2 in all that time
it's on me a little bit, right? There are sort of union social, meet and greets.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
never
it's like
No, I don't
know other people, but you don't meet them on set.
correct.
Right.
Early on in my career, I made a phone call before I had shot Watchmen to a guy to ask him some questions, and he was wonderfully generous. And it's not an aloof bunch that doesn't want to help. I've tried to help a bunch of folks break in to my position. I'm very encouraging of young photographers. And in fact, when on this recent Christmas movie, a kid who was doing some background ice skating said my name out of the blue, and I had handed him my camera years ago on set and said, go make some pictures, because he was interested. And now he is a unit photographer in the local 600. So
that's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
that's really
so amazing.
Yeah. So it could.
So you've shaken hands with 3 then? Not
one
of them, yeah.
Very funny.
But that is pretty cool.
It was interesting. Well, I feel like I had the same situation sometimes when I would work COVID, and I would get my boss would have been like, dude, you got to talk to this person and tell them how to do this. And I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, because they've never worked with, and they don't work with anybody else. They're like, so there's only one COVID person on every set, and it's them. And if they've never done it before, they need to talk to someone who has.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So when you're the only person, right? You have no department.
No,
it's all you.
Yeah, it's all me.
Right.
It's all me.
So when they come and when they ask you for things, or when something goes wrong, or when they need something different, how do you handle that?
Well, I mean, look, it's kind of cool to be the only person,
right.
sort of department of one. So technically I am in the camera department.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But because I don't make the movie, I'm one of maybe the only person on set every day not actively contributing to the making of the movie.
Interesting.
Right? So I'm just a witness. I could be asleep in the corner, the movie will get made.
So it's kind of interesting because it's almost like if I was making a movie and I had input on something that in short didn't have anything to do with how the movie was going to look, right? I would be able, stress-wise, I would be able to talk to, handle, and deal with that person differently than I would someone who was fucking up how my movie was going to look, how it was going to come out, and all of these things. It's kind of an interesting separation that you have from the still photography to the story, like you were just saying. As you start talking, I kind of like my brain started really to wrap around that.
I was thinking,
I'm
go ahead, finish. Yeah.
I'm a witness in the sense, but I also I'm not there to kind of document conflict. If something's going sideways, the marketing hat goes on and I walk away.
Mm-hmm. You're not the tabloid photographer.
You can imagine, right? I mean, famously, there's that crazy recording
Steve Sands. I'm like, you could be Steve Sands.
Well, yeah, Steve is an exceptional human being.
Fucking love how you know Steve, and you just called him an exceptional human being. I want
he's
you to know,
exceptional, and
I have
glad for it.
I have a bag of stuff because I used to work security, and I used to work very, very extensively deal with Steve. I have a Steve bag of just stuff that I use to deal with Steve because I know all of his little ticks and all of the things.
Tell people, and Steve Sands is a famous and incredibly aggravating paparazzi.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. He is probably one of the worst. You go on YouTube and you'll see some of the funniest videos of NYPD arresting him that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. And that's sort of a deeper philosophical thing. If I chase you down the street with a knife, I'm arrested. If I chase you down the street with a camera, I have my rights. I'm in some sort of First Amendment territory. And it's a bizarre thing, and it's a quirk of modernity, I guess. And we're just going to have to deal with them.
Right.
Steve is an avid guitar player. I have lots of friends that do music tours and stuff. So I literally ask them, I go, hey, I have a paparazzi guy that's a pain in the ass to deal with. Do me a favor, send me some tour swag. If I'm ever working security on set, I need to bribe this guy off. Mm-hmm. And I literally bribe him off with guitar memorabilia. And he will leave set. He will been like, dude, I will give you, Derek Truck's guitar slide, but you got to get the fuck out of here and leave us alone for the day.
Keeping it, all the paparazzi guys. What frustrates me is that their images are not very strong. There's something sort of strange in the art of photography or in the medium of photography. I won't even elevate it. That connects to the person taking the pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's a mysterious thing. Maybe it's debatable, but I've sensed it sufficiently to say that my images will be different than anyone else's images simply because of my intention.
Yes.
And those guys run with a very different intention than me or anyone else. But
this is why I was saying before that no autograph hunter will a true hunter that really appreciates what he has and what he collects will take a paparazzi photo for that exact fucking reason.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to say,
it's a dark world, that world,
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, as a day player, as someone who does more day playing than being on the run of a movie, for example, like I've seen myself in set photography time, on occasion. And I'm like, I had no idea. I mean, do you ever get questioned? Who are you? Or everybody kind of knows who you are?
Yeah. And on those first few days, say you're on the streets of a city or something, and the security hasn't sort of figured you out.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah,
but it's easy enough. You're generally wearing your ID and it's all.
Yeah.
So
and we carry ourselves very differently, say, than a paparazzi.
So for those aspiring set photographers, what would you suggest not to do? Because your job seems very, kind of like be there, be in the moment, grab your shots. But What shouldn't you do?
Certainly don't pretend you're friends with all the actors.
Okay. Why not?
Well, they're not your friends.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like just set etiquette in general?
Yeah, just like.
Oh yes, of course. Oh yeah. No.
Just because you can walk up to them in their chairs and talk about the game.
Right.
Oh yeah. No. Set etiquette is yeah.
Yeah, so that's overall set etiquette, and that's not just aspiring still photographers. I would say anybody. It's a very professional environment, any movie set, and it's incredibly siloed with expertise across the different domains, whether it's hair, makeup, stunts, camera, and even inside those departments. And so just know your place, right? If I am the Set Mosquito, if I am off axis and theoretically in the way, know when you should be there or not. If it's a complicated Steadicam shoot moving through a tight environment, stand down. Right? That shot's not going to happen for you, or hope you get lucky somewhere in the downtime. And I think that's probably the best thing to know. Sort of know your place and know when you've got an opportunity, and be really sensitive. Check your ego. Any other photographer in any other world of photography, if you're a fashion guy, right? It's all about this thing where me as the photographer is going to make you famous, baby, or whatever. On a movie set, you aren't making the movie. Check your ego. Just remember
you're not the motivator.
No, you're in the way.
Yeah.
And that can be really hard for photographers. It suits me. Like I don't need to be in the limelight.
Right.
I like making pictures. I like walking around quiet streets all over the world and maybe, making a friend or two, taking a few pictures, just admiring the beautiful light.
Some people want to capture the moment and some people want to make it.
Yeah. And I think the former is sort of where we are going to do our best. And on the poster shoot day, sure, go nuts.
I do. I like to be the guy who helps that guy capture the moment and who helps that guy make it, but then sits back there and is like, I helped.
Yeah. Yeah, you did it. And that's a nice position, and to know your place. Actors say the same thing. Know your lane, right? Stay in your lane kind of thing. And
everybody, we do on set.
It's a big thing in the stunt world, which is, when you go into the small little of like, does stunts deserve Oscars? Yes, as a whole. But it's like, do I think this person should get an Oscar for doubling this person? Absolutely not.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Look, the stunt world is a remarkable. It's one of the, I don't know. It's so human. It's so, these guys, putting your bodies on the line a lot of times. And rehearsing. And then on the day, you get one take and it's over and you're like, holy crap, I just worked a month on this thing. Now it's all the special effects guys probably has the same feeling.
Right.
They worked out the explosion for a month ahead of time and you get one take.
And then when they edit it, they edit out the entire explosion except for that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right. You're running 8 cameras on the explosion or on the fight, even, right?
Or the days when you first started working in stunts or whatever, and you were that extra guy, and you were right in the scene, and you were next to the camera, and the camera was in your face the entire day, and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna see everybody," and then they show it, and they didn't show you at all; they just saw a little bit of your end.
Or like a friend of ours, Alec Kossoff, he was in this scene where a house was blowing up, and and he got
blown off the deck.
He gets blown off the deck. He had to do this wire gag like 30 times, over and over, and then it literally happens in the scene. It's in the background over somebody's shoulder, like he's this big. Like it was like one of the hardest days in his life that he's ever had, and it's like a few pixels, right?
Yeah,
but.
And that's impressive. In the fight, what do they call it? In Justice League it's in Batman v Superman when the Nightmare Batman. I mean, those guys were sweating. It was hot and humid, thunderstorms looming in the distance, and just getting
the desert.
Especially Rich Citrone, who was doubling Ben, just being destroyed in there.
Oh, I mean, that suit, it's got to be hot.
There aren't a lot of other positions in the movies that demand such physical effort, and it's a wonder to behold. Again, I like to take care of myself. Those guys are next level. You guys,
that fight. It's interesting because, I picked up. I got the script. The script for the movie, and I don't know. I don't even know if you can even answer this, but it's just an interesting thing because I usually, when we have a guest on, I'll watch the movie or I'll watch it along with the script to see like that scene is not really in the script. I couldn't find it.
When he rescues Martha?
Yeah. It's not in there. There's another one. He rescues another woman out of a theater that
I'm like, maybe we're not asking the right guy though.
No, I know he doesn't pay attention to the script, but it was so interesting that I was like, I wonder if that was like kind of like an add-on because the episode that we just recorded before yours was about Charm City Kings. I don't know if you saw that movie, but if you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. Okay. It's about the biker
12 o'clock boys
in Baltimore, the dirt bike kind of gangs.
Like this crew, I guess you would call it, of dirt bike street racers in Baltimore. That literally, it's almost, I don't want to say it in a bad way because I kind of think it's really fucking cool. They cause like an uproar in the streets and the police and chasing and all of this with all of the stuff they used to do. It's a 4-minute documentary. Everybody see it. I'm shut the fuck up.
But to the point, he was telling us that because I went to find that we talked about a big chase scene that was in the movie, and when I went to the script, it wasn't there. It was not there, and I was like, this whole epic chase scene that got nominated for awards and it's not in the script. And then he sent us the reshoots. They added it in the reshoots, and it wasn't in the original script. So I was so curious about that warehouse fight. Where that came from.
Yeah, I think the warehouse fight was most certainly storyboarded. So Zack knows what he wants. He's seen the whole movie in his head beforehand. Scripts, and I'm speaking out of my
general knowledge. Yeah.
They can be political. So maybe there was some glossing over, or it was just it was written more simply, and then Zack knew it was going to be a full-fledged fight. So
speaking of storyboard,
there's no way you'd schedule 2 weeks. We were pretty much in that warehouse for 2 weeks. And
you said it was the beginning. It was the shoot, so it was right. It was definitely not an add-on for sure.
Which is often when a few studio execs show up to kind of give their blessing.
And that was all. That was also for me. That scene was mind blowing because in all of the Batman movies I had ever seen, that was the first time where it ever really registered that Batman just fucking killed somebody.
Yeah,
when he threw that fucking grenade back in that elevator, those 5 guys are dead.
Yeah, Guillermo took it hard there.
So that for me, that was also a pretty goosebumpy scene because I was like, dude, Batman just killed people.
Yeah,
especially if you go back and you watch the extended version of that scene.
Yeah, which everything Zack does, watch the extended version. It's the version.
Absolutely. I get angry when they make a movie and then they release it, and I'm like, why do you fucking sign him on for a movie if you're not just gonna let him do it?
We talk about this all the time. There should be no Zack Snyder extended director's cut.
Should just be the movie.
Should just be the original movie. Isn't that why you're working with this man? Right?
If I like watching Rebel Moon, why in the fuck would Netflix put out some edited piece of fucking
Yeah.
And then when his director's comes out, I'm like, okay, violence, awesome. Story, so much sense. It makes so much sense. Characters developed, I give a fuck about.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
They love to give him the chop job.
Yeah. it's a very strange world. I think watching the studio would probably be the best insight for a lot of people.
Such an amazing show.
I haven't seen it, but I would imagine it's touching on a lot of these things. It is a bizarre world, Hollywood, filled with conflicting agendas and incentives. And it's hard for a guy like Zack, who is a true auteur and visionary. And I don't.
But then you get guys like Dennis who make fucking Dune. Yeah. There's no director's cut of Dune.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
You know, who knows? Who knows how that works?
Probably could be.
Yeah.
But there isn't. Like, why does the studio chop job?
I don't know. Again,
who knows?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean why do I sit on set and make 50,000 pictures and you only see 20? Maybe because 49,990 of them are shitty. I don't know, but the machine is a mystery. It is a medium of storytelling that captivates the world and has so for the better part of a century. I cannot begin to understand how it works at that level.
Are there times, I mean, I guess, do you always shoot on digital, or are there specific occasions where you choose to go film?
You know, I just shot a little on Blade Runner, the TV show that's going to come out at some point. And they asked me to shoot some film. I only had a Hasselblad medium format camera. I shot a few frames, but I don't know what happened to them. So it's just so cumbersome in the context of filmmaking. I don't know how the uniphotographers of previous generations did it. It is just mind blowing. They were so good. So, I can literally spray and pray, and I'm going to get something.
Right.
So now with just all the digital advancements in shooting and filming and this and everything that's going on, is there, I guess, any worry for you that the film, the 4K or whatever it is they're going to come out with, is going to be able to capture what you're trying to get because they can just stop it now? Do you think that it's ever going to get there?
I've thought that my position in the union as a 600 still photographer would be eliminated the year after I got my first job. I was wrong.
Right.
There's still something important in what we do.
I agree with you.
And I, again, it's not ego. No one's going to get that shot of the director doing this.
Yes.
Unless it's just a very attentive person with their iPhone.
There is something that purposeful photography will never, ever get on a screen capture.
Yeah. Intention. It comes to intention. I think that's that. Look, the behind the scenes video folks, they have a hard job. And a lot of actors really don't like them in particular because it's just a different kind of medium, another lens for them to deal with. And even their work, you can't pull stills from that. Mm-hmm. So we're all in it together. I think the position will be around for a long time. And I don't think we should get too hung up on technological advances making certain jobs go away, right? There used to be giant scenic painters.
Right.
With the castle for the Wizard of Oz, and the set extension, and now it's computer graphics. We're storytellers ultimately, and we should embrace any technology that allows us to tell a good story.
Yeah, and back in the day, we used to paint the scenes backwards, upside down on plastic.
Yeah,
to get a cartoon to match it.
Yeah, and you're right, glass painting and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right from Star Wars. And you think about, there's a scene in Justice League with a bunch of Amazon women riding horses. They're on Kuka. In real life, they're on Kuka arms 1,000,000 times safer. Mm-hmm. Right? To be on Kuka arms that are programmed to mimic a horse. Mm-hmm. You're not going to put you can let your actors be on the horse or on the, to do the stunt now and have the movie look more realistic. And the stunt performers can be there just in case or whatever. But that's a good thing ultimately. And we should embrace technology. And if the boogeyman is AI, It's just silly.
I feel like it's like
the boogeyman can be AI, but the boogeyman is not AI.
Well, the AI also, it happens to be a convenient scapegoat for all these other things that are happening in the industry, you know,
Sure.
and so we'll blame it on AI. Like I'm less worried about AI than a lot of.
But if I'm shooting
peers.
a scene and that difference between having a real horse and those horses are having Robin Wright on a fucking in my shot, I'm going to take those horses because I want Robin Wright in my shot.
Of course.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
better,
too,
it's safer, I get what I want. So
think about some of these boxing movies or anything where the fights are happening, right? Back in the day, you had to sort of like, you know, fake it. Now I can come in and I can maybe hold it, but then I can CG just the mangled face. And I think that's really exciting.
That was something we were talking about in the last episode that they did. That was one of the Roadhouse, right? Didn't they do that a lot on Roadhouse?
I would imagine, right? And ultimately, you want a good fight. You want a realistic. You want to tell a story that looks and feels real. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And us as cinephiles who have been watching movies forever, and now that we do it and we see it, a stacked punch is a stacked punch. You know it, you see it. They all look great, but at the same time, because it's what we do, we know how they got it. Yep. You know, so if they can find a way to have that and a mush cut into the stacked swing, shit.
Cool.
I mean, that's the best of both worlds. It's eating your cake and still having it.
Matty Ruggetti was Rorschach's double on Watchmen, and there's a scene sort of where he jumps out a window, escaping the police, and his life was in the hands of those riggers who were going to pull at the last minute and break his fall. And this,
it was one of those.
It was just
how far down? How far of a drop?
It was like two and a half stories at a full run through.
Oh, it was the actual shot.
Oh yeah, that's a real shot.
Shit.
And he comes down hard, you know, and he's a professional, and
he does a superhero landing.
And today you don't have to do that necessarily, right? You don't have to have your life in the hands of some wire guys. And I love the riggers, and I'm not trying to dismiss them because they have people's lives in their hands.
Yeah.
I think with some of this technology, we can avoid that.
Mm-hmm. And that's like what Brett Copes was saying. Like we had a rigger on the show, friend of ours. He was saying like with the superhero landing, like he doesn't see a world in why you need to, as a rigger. He's like, I would opt to not do that. Like there's so many ways to not do that. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. And the real, in stunts, the real game is longevity in your profession. Mm-hmm. And longevity means not being injured.
Yes.
There's a guy who does a scorpion fall. You can see
I
it.
hate that fall. I'll never do it. I don't.
That falls
when your heels touch the back of your head. No.
Well, I'm also almost 60, so I'm not doing that.
No, thank you. Not on purpose.
No, not on purpose. No.
Yeah. But I remember that. I remember that day. I remember that take, and the other stunties just being like, "Holy cow!"
My brain is now going crazy because if I remember correctly, the scene in the jailhouse and when the jail was going fucking crazy, and Night Owl and the Silk Spectre, they go in and they kick the shit out of everybody. But when you're going across the tiers, that was one of the first full skin top on all gel burns ever shot.
That was Doug something or other. I forget his name.
But I do believe that was the first time they ever had it on film with someone with no shirt on.
Oh, getting burned.
Had the gel on, and they had him running down the fucking tier, like on fire, and you could see his nipples and everything. Like it was. Yeah. So what?
He was on fire.
He was on fire.
Canadian gel or something they've invented.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was it like getting ready to shoot that? When they were just like, okay, so we're going to set a dude on fire without a shirt on for the first time ever.
Nerve-wracking, right? Because also always remembering that this is a movie. And if I'm in the way on this shot, there's a lot of consequence. So I was probably laying a little low, but trying to get my shot. Mm-hmm. And I remember where I was and when that happened. So it's always nerve wracking, and not to be just horribly nerdy, but like fire is a difficult thing to expose for on the spot, and given because it's a lot
the
brighter.
flares probably come up and hit the lens differently, I would assume.
So, I think I probably just put my head down on like, what the hell is my exposure going to be? I'm out of the way. Spray and pray.
1 minute is dark, then the next minute.
Yeah, similar. So, there's a shot on my website of the Batmobile smashing through a big ball of fire. Same thing.
Yep. What's an because I know one of my favorite moments on set is when I am not performing, but I get to watch amazing performances. Mm-hmm. And you've just been able to witness so much stuff. What would you just off the top of your head? What's one of your favorite things you've got to see happen?
Good question.
Oh my goodness, I'm terrible with superlatives like that. Like I mean, it's been a 17-year run working for Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Zack is one of the more delightful human beings I've ever met in my life, and his energy and enthusiasm is something to behold as it infects everybody else on the set. Right, jaded special effects guys from the Union in Los Angeles being like, I will go to war for this guy, you know?
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is the overarching thing. And he makes movies that are a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And love him or hate him, you can't sort of deny that any one of Zack Snyder's films would have been a ton of fun to be on.
Dude,
I put him and Guy Ritchie in that same fucking category. Everything they make is just fucking fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the video we sent you. We had a little to the listeners. We had a little funny email exchange because if you've been listening to this show for a while, we did our werewolf episode and we talked about how in Army of the Dead, it was almost a shot for shot remake of my favorite movie, which is American Werewolf in London. I remember watching the movie. I'm like, that is American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
100% almost identical. And then we synced up the scenes. That's what I sent you. And it is literally almost identical.
Yep.
And that just made me want to be on that movie. I was like, I want to be on that movie.
Right.
Yeah. That scene was supposed to be the evening. We kept getting boned by bad weather in New Mexico in the afternoon, sort of monsoon season. So we flipped to the mornings. So that's a early morning dawn.
Oh, so that's a sunrise, not a sunset.
Dawn for evening. Right.
Right. Oh, it's such a great scene.
It was like when I was on a Film Talk podcast and we were talking about Brotherhood of the Wolf, and I was talking about the comparison of the opening scene from Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, and it was weird because you're trying to like, it's not a steal. It's not a,
no, it's an honorific.
It's so it's so honorific. And when you watch some of these movies and you see these directors and you see them just pay the respect to where they came from, to me, I think there's no higher way of making a film to be able to do that at the same time.
We'll send you that video too. We did a mashup of the Brotherhood of the Wolf and the opening scene from Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Look, people will say like, that's not Jaws. And then when you put them together, you're like, holy cow, that's Jaws.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder if that's just our brains doing that too, you know, where
and you didn't even realize it.
With, what was it? The Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz or something does.
Oh, right.
We are pattern recognizers. So we want those things to come together, but I don't know.
I remember
Zach referencing it, and obviously on the day when you're shooting and versus editing, super different, right? I remember
I used to go watch that Tripping on Acid in college at the Providence Performing Arts Center, and Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz, laser show and Wizard of Oz showing on the screen.
Yeah,
insane.
Well, next time you have a moment with Zach, you have to say, these two podcasters think you did an homage to American Werewolf in London. Are they right? Because we've never heard anybody else talk about it.
No.
All right. Well, I will. Hopefully I'm going to see him fairly soon.
Good. We'll get the definitive answer, I hope.
Yeah. Okay.
And if he says no, send him our video.
Okay.
Because it'd be like, it's shot for shot, the same thing. It's like the same thing where the two guys are going through the desert.
You know,
hear that? The wolf is hunting us.
Yeah, and I think that guy is also in Batman v Superman as whatever his name is, the little reporter Owens or something. I'm terrible with names.
Owen Wilson.
No, the famous.
Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah,
he's you. He's
Owen Wilson is an actor.
You'd think I'd remember one name from the comic books.
Jimmy Olsen, yeah.
Jimmy Olsen, it's the same actor.
Dude, you want to know what? You said you should even remember it from the comic book. I remember it from a fucking Spin Doctor song.
Oh my god,
Jimmy Olsen Blues. That is no joke. How I remembered his name was because of the Spin Doctor song. I mean, it's no secret.
I was never a comic book guy. I mean, I got sort of thrown into this because of my relationship with Zack.
Yeah,
and at first I was I didn't really care, but it was going to Comic-Con and hearing from these fans and realizing that I was making images that were, preventing them from committing suicide in one case.
Wow.
I've just learned to be really deeply grateful that I get to make these images that inspire people. But I am not well versed on the lore, the canon. Batman killing somebody was just another day on set, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's my life. The other part of my life is this lore that you're talking about. And I'm telling you, you are every single person that collects and embraces the visual of what movies do, respects what you do.
It's cool. We were Zach and Debbie and my wife and I were in Soho last winter in Manhattan, and somehow they'd found out what hotel Zach was staying in, and a bunch of autograph guys showed up, and I went out to see Zach signing because he's very generous that way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, I took that picture."
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's so
funny. There's a few of those guys, because again, I'm deep in the lore and that know that if Zack Snyder ever comes in the city, that I have something that they need to get signed for me. They're like all on radar is up. Like, wait, Zack, where? Who? Call Paul. It's just, but what's so funny is that I never like even when I'm on stunts or whatever, people always ask. I never get autographs when I work. I never get autographs when I'm at work. This is the collecting aspect of me that is who I am before I started in stunts. It's it's conventions, it's waiting, it's being a nerd is where I get all my autographs. I have never once asked for an autograph at work.
That's cool.
And I never will.
Yeah.
That's
similarly, I only took one picture ever with an actor. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger as Santa Claus. I had to make it.
Oh, yeah. You got to have that, man. Come on.
Yeah, you got to have that.
That's very cool.
For sure. Well, photos are also one thing, but an autograph is you are taking someone away. Even in that brief moment, you really are taking someone out of it, and because again, it's what I do.
Yeah,
you don't do it at work.
No.
Well, plus it's because it's also sadly it can be. It's like a commodity. Mm-hmm. Like it can be sold and all this. It's like just a picture of working with somebody is different than.
That's also why I have to, when people in this world, they're like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, that's not how I get my autographs. I get my autographs the same way you do, man. I do my fucking homework. I wait outside. I'm a nerd. Like I don't say, hey, I do this. Help me out. We're buddies.
But I will tell one story now as we come to the close of this episode, though. And I think he knows what it's going to be. So, like, I worked on John Wick 3, and so we're going to the premiere. He was my date to the premiere. And then we're going to the party afterwards, the premiere party, which was, they rebuilt the Continental. So, and everybody got a coin, and that was your mission to the thing. And I said, before we came, I said, don't bring any shit. Don't bring any shit to be signed or anything like that. He goes, oh, I won't. And then Chad Stahelski, the director, comes up and we're talking, and Paul's like, hey, I have this John Wick.
And I literally pulled this thing out of my fucking ass. I was walking around with Steve all night, and he didn't realize I had a Funko with me.
I was like, you.
But as a gift at the end of the night for him, I got the ticket signed by the entire fucking cast. And gave it to him to give to Chris,
my wife, Chris,
because she gave me her ticket, and I was like, "This is for Chris. Tell her thank you."
That's awesome.
But guess where it is now? It's on the wall right there.
Yeah, nice. Chad and Dave and all those 8711 stunties. Yeah. Right after Watchmen, I used to sleep in their gym.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So a little before, and actually before and after I was. Yeah, because I live in New York, and I just end up on one of their mats, and
That's
they're it's been wonderful to watch their trajectory.
Oh yeah, and now 87 North, they just opened up a newer space, which is kind of sad. They put up a video of taking down the church.
It was bittersweet because we've been there.
Yeah, we've trained in there, we've taught in there.
Super cool the way stunts too sort of is that dojo mentality, right? Where new folks come in and the older folks teach, and everyone kind of can come up together, So I remember there was just a young kid I think he was fresh off Justin Bieber's dance team, at the time. And next time I see him, flash forward 10 years, he's the fight coordinator.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know.
That's nice. Yeah. That's you don't always see that in other departments, but stunts are really cool that way. And that may be because of the martial arts influence.
I think for teams like 8711, 87 North, there's a big martial arts influence.
Yep.
And Chad is, of course, and Dave are both like lifelong martial artists.
Yep.
I don't know if the whole mentorship thing does exist, but there's something unique, I think, about the martial arts guys. Like I remember the first time I went to train at 8711 was in 2016. And Chad, I don't know if he's still doing this because now he's super busy, but he was still teaching every day, teaching classes every day. This is the guy who's directing John Wick, all this stuff, and he's still making time to teach every day.
Yeah,
it was so impressive.
There's a documentary about the making of the first one that looks amazing.
Yep.
What is it? John Wick Pain or something?
John Wick is Pain.
John Wick is Pain. Yeah.
Well, that's some trivia. I designed the 8711 logo way back when.
Did you?
They used for a while on their merch and stuff. I don't know. I can't remember the font. They ended up hating the font eventually, and it was.
That's still cool.
Yeah, but crazy, huh? But it's fun to be intertwined with those folks again. Stunts. If I wasn't a still photographer, maybe I'd be doing stunts.
We've heard that before. We had with Tom, the makeup artist, on here. And he's like, yeah, when I was a kid, I used to jump off my roof onto like all this and that. And he's like, I would be a stunt guy if I wasn't a makeup guy.
And you alluded to the Oscar and stuff. I thought it was really cool that Chanel ad or whatever it was that they did in the Oscars with Sam Wynn.
Oh, right.
Jumping through the plate glass window.
Yep.
Sam's a dear friend. She's been in a bunch of Zack's movies.
That's cool. I mean, the Oscar thing is cool. It's not a fight I would have gone to the mat for. Of course, not that I don't think we deserve it, but it's
like the Oscars don't need more attention.
Exactly.
Just focused. You guys are awesome.
we're like crew. We're talent with crew mentality, kind of.
So I know we kind of asked before, but being a set photographer and really being solo, what is it that sets you apart from everybody else that keeps you working?
Look, it's relationships. I mean, I like to think that I love what I do and I make strong images and I have a particular aesthetic. I move with deep intention, but I'm not. I don't think I'm. It's who knows you in life.
Right. Well, like we've started saying, it's not who knows you, it's who knows you when you're not in the room.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. What is it? Normally people say it's who you know, but I know a lot of people. They don't fucking care about me. It's who knows you, and it was Damon Caro who I first heard say that. He's been Zack's stunt coordinator for years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I don't know. I wouldn't. But I'm just lucky, man. I just
and
you always have a big smile on your face talking about it.
I'm like, sometimes that's the case, and when you're smiling and you're happy and you're just like, fuck it, man. I just got lucky and I'm running with it. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I stuck with it, even though that first one was exhausting.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I continued to learn, and now I would do it for free with Zack. I don't even care. I mean, I'm in whatever he's doing. I'm in.
That's awesome. That's a great ending.
It is a great ending. And so now that I was going to say, now that we're getting down to the end, but where can all of my fellow autograph freaks and go to get these amazing photos. Where can we follow you?
ClayEnos.com is just my website. Yep. And cool. It's a hosted website that has a simple toggle where I can make the images clickable or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what I've left it at, but I'll make a point in the next week or so before October to make them savable and printable and go nuts. I search the web for them myself half the time. So.
I'm going to put this clip on on all of the Facebook websites and all the autograph groups I'm a part of. I'm going to throw this clip on there.
The nice thing about I can't really share images that aren't otherwise released by the studio.
Of course,
so I'm
sure.
randomly hunting the web and doing searches and stuff to find my stuff.
But we'll definitely go and at least we'll grab a few to drop in the B-roll of this video episode for sure.
Yeah, man, go nuts. Anything you want, man. What's mine is yours. It's not really mine anyway. It's work for hire.
That's right. Somebody else owns it.
The adventure was making the picture.
Such is the life we live once we get on set.
Clay's
honestly, life is the adventure. It's been an absolute pleasure and an adventure. Yeah. To get hung up and thinking this photograph is the precious thing, I think is a mistake. The 6 months or 6 months that I spent on set was my life.
Yeah.
And fond memories and late nights and all the things, the fun, the laughter.
And that's why you're still in this business and you're still smiling.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was great. This was a really unique and great interview.
This was one of the coolest and most unique interviews I think we've ever had.
Awesome, guys.
I was truly great. Just taken back and also just...
Boom. There we go.
Boom. All
awesome.
of it.
Thanks so much, man.
What a treat.
Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakball Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.